welcome to the Honest Wrestling Review Network, home of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review and the HWR Triple Crown Retrospective. On the Wrestling Review show, the Triple Crown will cover the latest show content for the week, latest news, and rumors in the wrestling industry. During the retrospective show, we will be recapping and recovering significant events in wrestling history. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show, and thank you very much for listening. Welcome back to the Triple Crown Wrestling Review with Steve, Larry, and Chris. How you boys doing?
Not too bad, buddy. How you doing?
Could be better, could be worse. Wishing I
Chris, you alive down there?
In a couple hours.
I'm alive. I was letting Steve do his talking.
Gotta let me do my thing, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's been a stressful week this week for me, but hey, man, it ended on a high note. I'm finally working from home. So
hey, congrats.
Yeah. So that's why
I've got all these.
Yeah, I've got all these like makeshift areas that you guys see me at different locations every time. Because I'm trying to get the office set up, but the internet's not cooperating that way.
Wait. This was my
home.
The
router already?
We've done all that. It's the modem with the cable and all that stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So,
yeah, Chris, you're seeing my home office set up when I had to work from home for the 3 days they sent me home to work here.
Yeah.
It's my kitchen.
Yeah. That sucks for you. Mine's a little bit better. It's my living room right next to the TV because that's the best spot for the internet.
Yeah, the problem
I need
with that is there's not enough space.
Oh, yeah. I have no space whatsoever.
All right.
It looks like you don't either with a fridge.
Easy access to a beer, though.
Yeah.
All right, before we get too deep into it, as always, this episode of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review is brought to us by our sponsor, KK's Creations. For any custom t-shirts, vinyl work, decals, hit up KK's Creations, let her know that we sent you, and you might even be able to purchase this really badass HWR water bottle.
Aimless self-promotion.
What we do, homie.
Hey, he remembered this time. It wasn't an hour into the episode.
Hey,
he's like, "Oh yeah, let's talk about
this." So let's go ahead and get started with my favorite segment, is reactions.
Oh boy.
So this reaction is brought to you from WWF, the years of 95 to 96.
Okay, we're at least getting closer to the Attitude Era.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you the name and tell you how to spell it. And then I want you to Google it because you probably won't remember it. Techno Team 2000.
No idea.
Huh?
Techno Team 2000. Techno spelled Tekno.
Oh, God. Tekno.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
So this was a team in WWF. It looks like
IRS.
It does, doesn't it? But this is Travis and Troy, son of writer Bill Watts, was Troy. They started off with strong hype but did not deliver, faltering after winning a few early matches. They were sent to WWF's farm territory at the USWA at that time for practice. Returning, they continued to lose and were released. Less than a year in the company.
So you tell us to react to people we have no idea who they freaking are.
Hey, I took a shot. I mean, we've all been watching wrestling for how long? I thought some of you would have remembered it.
Yeah, no. Like 99.9.9999% of our listeners are going, who the fuck?
That's the fun part. They can look up some history. But if you look at their gear, I don't know if you can see them in the pictures, but
I'm watching it. Yeah.
It's like these zip-up futuristic karate gis. It's like the weirdest crap ever.
And they put like a silver stripe across their eyes.
Yeah. And when they actually in ring, they put silver makeup across their eyes.
Yeah.
Such good shit.
Oh, and that takes us into the first wrestling of the week with AEW's Deadly Draw. This is, yeah, I know. This is the second week of it. So the first match, they introduced Big Swole's partner to create the Swole family, which they won the match. Doesn't really matter because the other team's out.
And
The
that's,
second match-
that's the other part I don't understand. It's big and Little Swole, and they're both tiny.
Well, Lil Swole's not as buff.
And doesn't talk like Big Swole. Big Swole has to teach her how to talk.
Yeah,
It's bad.
So just like I predicted, they put Ivelisse and Diamante together, which
Mhm.
we knew was happening anyways. But they faced Dasha, who's a backstage interviewer.
Yep.
She is a trained wrestler, but she was hired as an interviewer who's now thrown into the ring with a returning Rachel Ellering, daughter of Paul Ellering.
That I do love. Rachel
And
Ellering
this
can
is-
go.
Yeah.
This is technically her first match in a year due to injury. And they did pretty good, even though they took the job and Ivelisse and Diamante go on to the next rounds.
This match wasn't bad. The first match was awful, but the second match wasn't bad.
There were
Yeah,
some bad spots in it, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Rachel Ellering will be a mainstay in the AEW roster before too long, I believe.
Yeah, she's featured in Dark this week as well, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of her.
And they announced her. I didn't even know this, Steve, but she's right by where we live. She's they announced her out of St. Paul, Missouri.
Oh, Fallon? Really?
Yeah. They said from St. Paul, Missouri, Rachel Ellering. I was like, I didn't know Paul Ellering lived in O'Fallon.
I was to say, even people in our area don't call St. Paul St. Paul. It's freaking O'Fallon.
I know. Yeah.
Well, that could also, I mean, take that for what it's worth. They could be working it like, oh, that's where we're going to say she's from. She probably lives in Florida now.
No. If they're saying St. Paul, Missouri,
yeah. It's a small suburb.
it's like
And-
this big.
Yeah.
So yeah, that can't be a freaking work.
Mm-mm.
The only way
No.
that would work is if they were meaning to say St. Paul, Minnesota, and
Yeah,
Missouri.
that's
anyway.
what I was thinking too. I was like, Minnesota? No, they said Missouri.
Which St. Paul, Minnesota would make sense because that's AWA territory and that's where
Right.
Paul Ellering got his
Mhm.
start. So,
Yeah.
in all honesty, I don't think it's really St. Paul, Missouri. I think they meant to say St. Paul, Minnesota.
I was
Well, you never
that's
know.
wild. It blew my mind.
It's like, really? You're at the intersection of P and N and O'Fallon?
Larry has no idea what we're talking about.
Not at all. Because, well, I live in California, California, whatever you want to call us out here. It's horrible sometimes. Let's not get into that. It's freaking 108 degrees outside today.
Oh, it wasn't too bad today. 84.
Okay, so to give you an idea of what we're talking about, Larry, like O'Fallon is like a popular suburb, kind of like Rancho Cucamonga, only to like a fifth of that size.
So it would be more like you're saying you're from Los Angeles, but you live in Alhambra.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
So
Yep.
if there's like a really small like village type town next to Alhambra,
Oh, you mean my hometown, Monrovia? Yeah.
that's like them saying Monrovia instead of Alhambra.
Ella instead of LA. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. So let's move into Monday Night Raw.
Wasn't terrible for Monday Night Raw. We've definitely seen worse Monday nights.
This is true. I mean, we all lived through the golden age of wrestling.
I mean, I'll say I like the ending of it. I'm not liking this retribution thing, though. It's starting to annoy me.
Yeah, and from what I've read, they have absolutely zero plan for it whatsoever.
Well, one of the things that bothered me at one point we get into where they talk about, oh, we have some security footage to show you.
Yeah.
And they're literally, it's a guy standing with a moving camera. I'm like, so you have an actual camera crew watching him shatter a brick through a window when you said security cam footage. How about you actually just use security cam footage?
Like it's literally the WWE profiting off of protests in Portland, Minnesota, Baltimore. It's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's all they're trying to do is capitalize on what's going on in the news right now, which I get it. I understand it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. But they open up, and I actually like how they did this. They opened up with a contract signing with Joe moderating. And I like that it was Dominic signing both his first match and his WWE contract signing. So I thought that was pretty cool the way they did that. But I
And
mean,
it didn't end in a fight.
Are you high?
It ended in a beating.
It didn't end in a fight right away. There was actually a match in between the fight, wasn't there?
It ended up in a beating. Did you see the images of Dominic afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah, but
I mean, that's how you get jumped into a wrestling company for
oh wait,
sure.
no,
but-
never mind. It was NXT that we had a contract signing without a fight. Never mind.
Right, exactly. You
Yeah.
still had an incident, but we'll get into that.
It wasn't
But-
an actual like beat down like all contract signings are.
this
but
this felt like a hazing. Like
This-
a fraternity
yeah,
hazing.
no,
Kidding. Like,
If you see the pictures, like go to WWE's Instagram, they posted it. Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
amazing. He is bruised and beaten. Oh Jesus,
like
it's
it
like,
got
oh,
to the point where it was uncomfortable to watch.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh,
And then, well, when you see the pictures afterwards, you really feel that way because he's bleeding. You can see bruises already showing up. It's like, oh, you're a wrestler's kid. You want to be in the company, huh? And you're not one of the boss's kids. All right,
Mhm.
we're gonna beat the shit out of you.
yeah.
Because
Well, yeah,
I'll tell you
and-
from wrestling training, when we started the first day in, here, everyone line up. You in the corner. They hold your arms back, and everyone comes through and chops you on one side. You leave, next person in. The next day, they do the same thing on the other side, and then see if you want to stay. That's how they did it at Revolution Pro Wrestling out here in Southern California.
Oh, and did you like nut yourself on Wednesday when they mentioned PWG?
A little bit. I always love hearing about PWG on there. When Kevin Owens did that ride along, they took him to the old Reseda. That was awesome. To see Kevin Owens in that building again, that was great.
Right before they tore it down.
Yeah, so sad. Anyhow, I just have to say this. I honestly wish we could see a contract signing for once, where it's literally they come in, sign, walk out. Just because
Yeah.
to throw us a swerve. It's like, we all know the beatdown is coming. Just throw us a swerve.
Mhm.
Because
But yeah,
it's like, it's to
and-
the point, it's like, oh, there's carpeting in the ring. You're getting the shit kicked out of you. Sorry. I mean,
And that was the thing is like when they first started waylaying him with the kendo stick, I'm like, oh, Dominic's really selling this. This looks like it's really bad. And then like 3 minutes later, you're like, am I just watching a legit mugging?
Yeah.
I don't think he was selling. I think he was legit in pain. I think he was like, dear God, dear God,
Yeah.
dear God. He's just like channeling all his strength not to cry while hung up in the ropes. Because I'm sorry, I've been beaten with kendo sticks in a match. That shit hurts.
Well, yeah, especially when they get the speed on them up, and you're getting the individual striations from the kendo stick.
I'll
It's
tell you
not like
this.
the entire thing. It's like the individual strands
Yeah,
are cutting into you.
I'll tell you this though. As far as a hardcore match, I would much rather be in a thumbtack match than a cane match. As crazy as that is to be, it's not the pain of them going in, it's the pain of them going out, and you're healed pretty quick. This leaves bruises and welts for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that takes us into the actual first match, which was Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo, which wasn't a bad match, but it had a lot of the stuff building the storyline. So what you'd expect from 2 weeks before pay-per-view.
Yeah, nothing special.
Your
Yeah.
winner was Seth Rollins. Then we get a recap of all the Retribution attacks. Yay.
Yeah.
That I swear, I'm like, with all the rumors going around who's possibly in it, just do something decent with it once you start unmasking them, please.
Yeah, do something decent once you fart. Yes.
Yeah. I'm worried about the one I told you guys, which they're saying it's Evolve wrestlers. I don't like that at
It
all.
would make sense the way the network is pushing all the indie companies now.
Yeah, so they bought them out, and they actually had a chainsaw character that was really popular in Evolve, and that's how that rumor started coming after he did the chainsaw on SmackDown 2 weeks
Well,
ago.
Yeah,
the
but
other-
they're still rumoring Dijakovic and Ciampa.
Well,
And-
a lot of people are saying that's not them though, because these guys seem so much smaller. They don't there's not a 7-foot guy that stands out like a Dijakovic.
Well, yeah, they're not. I'm not saying that he's in the ring during that. He's going to be part of it.
I was gonna
He's
say,
going to
the-
come
he's
out
the
at the
leader.
end.
He's the
Okay.
mastermind.
He's the Brody Lee, the mastermind of the
Gotcha.
group,
Yeah.
where it's the higher power.
Yeah,
We go along.
sure.
That kind of crap.
And as far as the chick with the curly hair, there is another possibility now because Indy Hartwell came back on Wednesday and she's got curly ass hair just like Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah.
Or it could just be like one of those female Evolve wrestlers that we don't even know.
Or it could be it could be a herring, and they're just putting hair on a wig on someone, just to mess with us.
I'm
Kane.
still thinking it's Vanessa Bourne, but at least now it's not like 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because it could be Indy Hartwell.
I know they're gonna reach deep down and they're gonna pull out Katie Burchell.
Oh God.
Oh, I just had to get it out.
And
Sorry.
Paul's gonna swing in from his pirate rope.
There you go. Because he's got to save his sister.
Who he's secretly banging.
It wasn't a secret. Okay, so that takes us to the ring. Zelina Vega states she had nothing to do with Montez Ford's poisoning, blah, 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 pushing storyline. Match 2 was Angelo Dawkins versus Andrade. Angelo Dawkins wins. This wasn't a bad match.
No.
Match 3 was Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair.
And she tossed Vega around like a freaking rag doll, man.
Which is great because Zelina Vega's great at selling and Bianca's a great offensive wrestler, so it worked to their advantages. I was really happy with this.
And somebody finally used Belair's hair against her.
Yes. We're waiting for that more and more often. Your winner of that match was Bianca Belair, though. Next, we had an in-ring segment of the VIP Lounge. It's getting to the point where I just stopped
Really?
watching this.
MVP blaming the lights for you losing? For real?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand you've been grasping at straws, but you're, like, grasping at straws. Like, the straws of the straws. That's pathetic.
That's like split hairs off the straws. Like, but anyhow.
I don't know. In that match last week, they were purposely flickering the lights like crazy and making that seem like the way that Apollo did win. So it's a typical heel way just to say, make excuses why you lost.
But it's way too typical. They can find a better reason to do heel complaining. It's like, oh, you weren't cleared for wrestling this week. I didn't see a clearance. They've been playing up that angle. It's like, you weren't cleared last week.
This is basically him saying, I lost because I didn't have my pre-match meal, and it's your fault.
Right. It's like, it's out of my control. It's not, bullshit. So, as per usual, there's an altercation. Apollo hits the ring, clears it, and he actually throws the couch out of the ring, which is pretty interesting.
Those to do that one person, those couches are not light.
They're not super heavy either, but I mean, at the same time, I always like it when one of the wrestlers comes in and clears the ring because, like, I don't have time for the ring crew. Get this shit out the way. I want to beat someone's ass.
Right.
Kevin Owens did it even better. Oops, I broke one.
Broke one. Broke another one.
But then we get, let's see where, we get the fourth match of the night. Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin. The winner was Shelton Benjamin. After the match, Bobby Lashley went for a full Nelson on Crews. MVP stops him, saying he wants Crews healthy so he can't weasel out of their match at SummerSlam like he did Extreme Rules. Apollo takes him out and runs off. Well, I think they did that pretty well, actually.
He didn't weasel out of his match at Extreme Rules. He had
he Rona'd out.
2.
So this takes us into the video package after they say, oh, we're going to show you some security footage of Retribution earlier tonight. And it's, like we said, it's a handheld camera of them throwing a cinder block through the front door. It's like, okay, first off, if you're showing security footage, make sure it's actually security footage. Make sure it's not a handheld camera that you can obviously tell someone's running up to see this go on.
Right, exactly.
Secondly, your security or whoever's blocking the door needs to look menacing. Because that didn't make Retribution look strong. It made them look like a bunch of punk-ass kids. I'm sorry, that's like the crap we pull in high school. And, we're going to break a window at the high school. Let's go. What the hell is this?
And that's the other thing. If you're going to have the 2 punk-ass security guards, at least have them stay there until they throw the cinder block and then they scatter.
Yeah, as the cinder block's flying towards them, they duck.
Right.
Don't have them just get out of the way and let them do it.
Just don't be like, okay, I'm getting paid $10 an hour. This isn't worth it. Screw it and leave.
Exactly. This takes us into a backstage segment where Mickie James has returned.
I'm
And
Native
then
American, and I'm not even excited about that. So
Hey, I'm Native American too, but exactly. Go Blackfoot.
Cherokee,
Partial too. Yeah. So let's not get into that. That's a whole side story.
Cherokee, and Montauk. Let's battle.
Nice. Cherokee and Blackfoot. So anyhow.
Mickey James.
So, exactly.
Hey,
she
she's
was
Native American musical performer of the year. Okay,
okay.
Back to Mickey James.
like that's
Yeah.
legit.
So she has an announcement,
Where's
but
the
she's
Google
interrupted
machine?
by Lana and Talia. I'm happy to see Natalia back on TV, but my God, can you just not put her with Lana? Like,
Boat, really?
Lana is literally just waiting out her
Boat.
contract.
Not even just that, dude. The what they were wearing was just like hideous.
It was louder than her voice.
They had shoulder pads too.
Well, and guess
My
what?
God, I would have rather listened to the Iconics. That's how bad this was.
Well, guess
And
what?
I had
I
it
don't blame
muted.
I watched the 90-minute version and it wasn't on it. Glory to Hulu.
Because
Oh, Jesus.
because they
It
were
didn't
so they were so cheesy together. They were playing this whole like Mean Girls role of like they're too cool for school and Mickey James just needs to get out of here.
Danny Jordan, gimmick infringement. Send the paperwork.
Seriously. So issue a cease and desist right now.
Come on, Danny. Shut him down.
It was
So
bad.
then you have Ivar flirting with Demi Burnett from The Bachelor.
That
Just
was funny.
Fun stuff.
That
It's-
was funny. She's like, "You're cute. You," and points at Rogue. "You're ugly."
They just keep doing that with him. They've been doing that since the Prophets battle thing too.
Well, they got to do something to build Ivar's personality some more. So I bet you they're hoping he's going to come off more like Otis eventually.
There's only one Otis.
Agreed. So that takes us into match 5. You have the Viking Raiders versus Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and Cedric versus Akira Tozawa and 3 Ninjas.
Fast forward time.
Can we literally? Can they stop this ninja gimmick? This is
Yes,
getting annoying.
please. Yes.
This was
And
nothing but
And it's overtly racist.
just a little bit, However, it was nothing but a comedy spot match, realistically, because it's like, oh, I don't want to get in the ring with him. I don't want to get in the ring with him. So they got rid of all the other ninjas, and the third ninja's there, and he decides not to get in the ring, and he runs away
He looks
conspicuously.
very conspicuously darker than everybody else.
Well, there was a few times in the series they've had him. There were some darker ninjas, so don't let that throw you. But that's a good point, Steve. He runs away, and so does Tozawa. So they lose the match through the count out. But then, as they're going up the mat,
That ref missed his cue by like a minute and a half.
yeah. So as they're going up the ramp, R-Truth just takes off the hood and rolls up Tozawa for the 24/7 championship and runs off with another
You can see
win.
R-Truth in the ninja uniform going for like almost 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, you really think Tozawa isn't seeing you do that? Ooh. So he regains the 24/7, 34, 12, 65, whatever the hell he's calling it now.
For the 5,000th time.
Exactly,
Nah.
Backstage, you have a segment with Drew McIntyre talking to Randy, saying how much evolution has passed you by, building their storyline for tonight's match. Match 6 was Peyton Royce versus Liv Morgan.
No words.
Peyton Royce won. Yay.
Peyton Royce won due to miscommunication between Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott.
Which is so dumb, man. They're
Like a blind man could have saw that Ruby got on the apron because Billy Kay got on the apron.
not just that. It's the whole, oh, we're getting back together. Let's hug it out. Oh, but now we're gonna have friction because we can't communicate well. It's stupid.
Well, this is called shotgun writing. It's like, yeah, throw it on the wall, see if it sticks. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to realize what they're dealing with in pandemic wrestling. That their writing staff did as well as they have. I know we give them a lot of leeway, but
We can't keep giving them Corona pandemic wrestling excuse for 5 months. They've had plenty of time to adjust to this bullshit.
Well, again, starting next week, SmackDown is coming from the Amway Center and with virtual audience.
You can see
So
our
is-
ugly mugs at the Amway Center.
So I would really
Hey.
hope that
Mine might be there. I've been to the Amway Center
you know what
for
would be
a
interesting-
WWE event.
You know what would be really interesting if they would actually do is do what the baseball teams are doing. It's like let people pay for a
Yeah.
cardboard cutout and put you there.
No, what they're doing in the NBA in the bubble is they actually have virtual fans in the NBA. So
No, I
they're
know,
not
I've
the
seen
only
it, yeah.
ones that are doing it.
WWE
virtual
would make
fan
good money with
concept.
that, though.
The
Like,
virtual
Yeah,
fan
that's
concept
how
is
you-
actually
that's
a
how
pretty
you-
cool concept.
That's how you counter the ticket sales. Is that charge them $50 just to put a cardboard cutout out there.
Yeah. Well, not.
And you could-
Well, you
shit,
think
dude.
they're not charging to be a virtual fan?
I imagine they're just using stock footage and blue screening it.
No, like there will be people set up watching it on webcams, and their faces will be put on the board.
Huh.
That's
That'll
how
be
the
interesting.
NBA does it.
Yeah,
I haven't
I see. I wouldn't
seen
go
it.
that route. I'd just go the route of, hey, let's just do cardboard cutouts, charge $50 a cutout, and put them there. And that way, if something happens, like if your cutout gets hit or something, you get a bonus. Whatever, like they do in baseball.
Hit with what?
I don't know. A T-shirt.
But no, I think they're gonna put like video boards around the ring, and it'll be set up. It'll be like fans on Zoom calls, and their reactions and shit will be posted.
That'll be weird. I'll have to see how that looks. But just imagine one wrestler screws up one of those video boards.
That'd be great
We know how expensive those LED panels get.
because see, there you go. When you say if your cardboard cutout gets hit, if somebody knocks out your video board, you win a prize.
Okay, but what are they going to charge for that? Are they going to charge them like $300, or that seems a little high to me.
I don't know what's the NBA charge. I'm sure they'll do something similar.
I know Dodger Stadium's charging $300 a cardboard cutout.
California for you.
Yeah, well. So after that match, we go into Raw Underground, and you
Which
see
didn't start until
10.
10. It's 10 Eastern, which is 9 Central, which is exactly what I was trying to say last week. Put
Mhm.
your edgier content in for your last hour and a half. This proves somebody in creative's watching this podcast.
Did you notice something missing on Raw Underground?
There's the girls, the dancers.
They cut the strippers.
Yeah, well, they probably ran out of cash. No
I
more
was saying-
dollars.
There is a cash shortage, supposedly, so
Either that or all the dancers have the Rona. Yeah, that's 4.
Or
there you go. Number 4.
All right, so Riddick Moss, which while they're pushing him for this, I wouldn't have thought, but and ends up squashing some guy. I didn't know who he was. I don't know if you guys do.
no.
But then we go into this match 7, Asuka versus Bailey for the number 1 contender to Sasha's title. Your winner and new number 1 contender, Asuka. We didn't see that coming.
Predictable.
But I'm just,
This
I just hope she at least takes one of those belts to break up this whole we've got all the gold bullshit.
She'll probably take both.
I'm sure she will. Based on how SmackDown ended, I'm sure we're gonna get that.
And then they lose the tag titles at Payback.
A week later. Oh my
And then
god.
they can go away for a little while.
So then you get Raw Underground again. You get Daba Kato squashes another guy.
With the testicular claw.
That Joey Ryan better be going after gimmick infringement pretty quick.
No, he didn't grab his penis. He grabbed him by the testicles.
Doesn't matter. Still, Joey Ryan, send the cease and desist order. If the next person does a dick flip, they're in trouble.
And that goes right over Chris's head.
Yes, Chris. Go ahead and go on Google. Look up Joey Ryan dick flip. It's hilarity.
It's a dick suplex.
Yes, and he's done a dick suplex chain of like 30 guys in the ring.
Joey
Yes, that
Ryan.
sounds horrible. Wrong. Don't make fun of Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan's a good guy.
He annoys me. I've only seen him in Impact for a little bit. He annoyed me, and I never wanted to watch him ever again.
You know,
No,
remember
so
how,
he had
remember
a
how
promotion.
Riddle had the power of the punch.
What's that?
remember how Regal had the power of the punch?
Yeah.
Joey Ryan has the power of the penis.
You know how Shinsuke is king of strong style? Joey Ryan is the king of dong style.
No, that's funny. I mean, all that stuff's funny. I mean,
So
I'll check it out.
look up the dick flip. It's hilarious. You'll enjoy it.
No, the one that's better than Joey Ryan's dick flip is the thumb up the bum with Jushin Thunder Liger, the bum train, where he flips everybody with his
my.
butt.
Yeah, there's some pretty intense stuff. But yeah,
And
Joey
in
Ryan
that
used to do it
train,
from
in that butt train, you have Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, Pete Dunne.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
You've got some heavy hitters with thumbs up the butts.
Jesus.
So Joey
and
used to run a
Liger is,
promotion.
like, tight cheeking, walking around the ring, leading this butt plug train.
Steve is tickled pink by this, apparently.
It's
But yeah,
hilarious.
Joey Ryan used to run a promotion here called Bar Wrestling. He'd set up shop in a local bar.
Oh.
He's 300 people, standing room only. It was a good time. It was all comedy bits, but it was fun. Unfortunately, he recently had to close out of the whole BS that happened a few months ago with the Speak Out movement. Anyhow, back into
and the bar restrictions with the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that kind of did happen.
Five times.
Five times.
So we're still in Raw Underground, and Shayna Baszler shows up, and she takes on multiple women. Now, rumor has it is they were all told to
Go
pull
easy
back
on her.
against Shayna because they want Shayna to look strong. But if Shayna is really a MMA fighter, shouldn't she be able to handle herself? So why are they telling them to pull the hell back?
It was very like kung fu segment where it's like, oh, one jumps in, you got to finish them off, then the other one jumps in. Like they're all standing around watching.
Yeah, if it's a brawl and you're gonna beat the crap out of someone, everyone's
Yeah.
gonna beat the crap out of you.
Yeah,
yeah,
you all
they'll
jump
hold
in
you
at the
down
same
and-
time. Yeah.
Exactly.
3-on-1, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called gang warfare. Which
No,
I
that-
guarantee you we're gonna get back to if they're trying to pull the Attitude Era stuff out.
No, I felt like I was watching a Jackie Chan movie with that thing. Yeah.
No, it didn't have the outlandish enough stunts.
Yeah.
Pow into the fist.
I do have a rant about Raw Underground, though.
Oh god.
Okay. So they ended Raw last week with the Hurt Business running the show. But they're nowhere to be found in Raw Underground this week, like nothing happened. What the hell?
Maybe they were too tired of the underground. Maybe they only want to be part of the main scene.
No, they literally said at the end of it, we run this place now. And they're not there anymore. And then
Maybe
they
they just let Shane have a night. They're gonna be back next week. Who
I
knows?
would say they figured out it was so bad, they're like, nah, you can have this shit.
Lashley's like, I can't beat nobody up here. Everyone's weak.
Well, and that's what last week we were talking about. Oh, Brock's going to come in and challenge Lashley because he might get a title or something from Raw Underground. No, he's not even on there anymore.
And rumor has is Brock's coming back to SmackDown, not Raw. But we'll get into that later.
Can't he just stay on his Canada farm and leave us be?
Eh.
Yeah, because we know what's going to happen. He's going to go with the main title, and we're enjoying what's happening with the main title on SmackDown
This
right
will
now.
be completely useless again.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But then we go into another outside segment where Retribution has flipped a car in the parking lot.
They went all Braun Strowman on it, and it only took 10 of them to do it.
And we caught it at the aftermath. So the Braun Strowman was actually a forklift. Because if you have footage of them actually flipping it, use it. Don't just have them standing there beating up a flipped over car. Because that just makes them look like shit. This takes us into the 8th match of the night. Yes, 8 matches in 3 hours. And it felt like it took forever, honestly.
But it's actually a wrestling show, so we actually
Yeah.
get wrestling on a wrestling
We're
show.
actually getting wrestling. And this last segment, I think, was... I think, Chris, you agree with me, and Steve probably... This was the best segment of the night.
Yes, I'd agree.
This poor fella. I mean,
This poor fella.
and really, Randy Orton, I mean, his entire forearm must have been covered by Space Mountain.
Yeah, it was a good segment.
If
The
the
match was
legends
good.
are true. If the legends are true.
You mean he's hung like an Avion bottle? I thought that was Liam Neeson.
No, from what I heard from like the plane ride from hell when Flair decided he was only going to wear his robe. So they're like it's not human.
So he couldn't quite. They thought it was tied, but it wasn't the tie. It was.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So the match wasn't bad. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens can actually go. That was a good match. Randy Orton obviously wins. And they had a good, back and forth segment with Orton and Flair. I really enjoyed it. It really feels like this might be Flair's final send-off.
Right. It's like they're humanizing Ric Flair.
Yeah, it's like you're taking away the level of God that Flair is. The 16-time, you're not going to beat Cena's record. You're beating my record. It's it was a good send-off for him until the whole punt BS.
Which I actually think it's great because it got Drew all riled up.
Yeah, I like it.
But I like how they did it. I just didn't care for the fact that they had to go down that line of having him punt Flair. It's like, it's Flair. You could just...
He didn't really punt Flair.
No shit. No shit.
Flair's going to be right back in Orton's corner to fuck over Drew McIntyre.
Well, let's hope that's actually the case, because from what they're saying is he will not be brought back on TV because he refuses to get tested for the Rona anymore. So they let him finish out his appearances, and they won't let him he doesn't want to keep going and getting tested any longer.
I firmly believe that the lights weren't retribution. That was something that Flair and Orton worked out where he didn't really get punted. It gets Drew thinking that he's going to have Randy Orton all by himself with no interference, and then here comes Ric Flair and causes the interference, and Orton wins the belt.
I can see that. Yeah,
I can see that. That would work. I would enjoy that, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah. It is kind of funny, though, that Flair has been jumped by almost the entire old Evolution. He just needs to get his ass kicked by Triple H, and then
that'll never happen.
For real done.
Triple H will never turn on
Triple
Ric
H
Flair.
will never touch him.
Never.
Bullshit. I call bullshit
won't.
on that. No. Triple H has turned on anyone and everyone. He's going to pedigree Flair, and then that'll be Flair's final.
First off, if he pedigrees Flair, he'll probably break Flair's neck just from the slight impact. I mean, I love Flair, but my God, man's fragile.
77 years old, and he's a little brittle.
I agree.
Quit giggling over that thought of killing Flair. I mean, that's just wrong.
And that's the other part with the low blow. Those things got to be hanging down to his freaking knee. He didn't have to go that high. With his
you know. Afterwards, backstage, Flair's like, "How'd that low blow go for?" He's like, "I felt it. I felt it on my arm."
My forearm was covered, and your nuts were cradling my elbow.
I think it winked at me. All right, so we've covered it a bit. WWE will start shooting from the Amway Center for SummerSlam. The reason they want to do this, as we've been talking, is the virtual fans. They also want to be able to start doing larger pyros and grander entrances. They're limited on how much they can do at the PC, and using the Amway Center, they can go a lot grander. They have a higher budget for pyro right now because they're not spending on other stuff, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. The other rumor is why they're going to the Amway Center for Raw, SmackDown, and all pay-per-views for the foreseeable future is because they're getting ready to do Evolution 2 from the PC. So hopefully that's actually what's going to happen. I'm excited to see how they're going to do it because they're actually going to start live shooting again. And live shooting is a lot better than Raw's clipped-together, segment-by-segment TV show that takes us back to the era of early TV 1980s wrestling. Are we watching primetime wrestling again?
And I also think that this is a prelude for them to actually eventually let actual fans back into the arena. They don't want to be in the PC when they start letting fans back into these venues. They want to actually be at a large venue where they can actually socially distance and have a couple of thousand people in attendance, i.e. Daly's place at AEW.
Right. And the other thing is the reason WWE picked the Amway Center is, well, for one, they don't have really any other major arenas they can go to that's close enough. Secondly, they've seen that the Amway Center doesn't have anything on the books for the next, foreseeable 6 months.
Makes sense.
So if they can go to Amway Center and say, hey, we'll just rent it out for 6 months from you at a discounted rate since you can't get anyone else in there, you think Amway Center is going to turn that down? I sure as hell wouldn't. Gives a place for WWE to park all their trucks because they're not going to have to move them. So it just makes a lot of sense in all honesty. I think it's a great thing they're doing.
Yep.
So it's a shame they couldn't do it from like Madison Square Garden, but New York is completely shut down on everything and they would never let this kind of production be going on there.
Yeah, because de Blasio is an idiot.
And New York's on heavy Rona shutdown.
7?
Yep, 7. So rumored members of Retribution, as we already talked about, was Dijakovic. There's also Ciampa's rumored as being an eventual part of it. Now, what a lot of people thought was going to be involved was Aleister Black, due to his recent Instagram and Twitter activity looking very weird.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone actually commented on it, now if it would be great if this is just him keeping kayfabe and keeping up storylines and whatnot, but he replied with a detailed response of saying, no, I'm not in it. Why would I join that? That's everything I've worked against. What would I be doing? What benefit would that be to me? So unless he's working it into a work,
Yeah.
which we've seen him do with their social media before. It wouldn't be the first time they've tried to do this kind of stuff.
A.K.A. Seth Rollins.
Exactly.
All the time.
Another rumor, and there's actually tie into an AEW rumor with this one, is that Roman Reigns is set to return as a heel with AOP in tow.
Please, thank God.
As a new, more dominant Shield. Also rumored that Roman was requested by Vince to get, quote-unquote, jacked, as he wants him to be the new full-time Brock Lesnar.
Roman's already jacked.
Oh,
No,
he's more jacked.
Bigger.
Yeah,
he's gotten bigger, dude. He looks like Ultimate Warrior when he was still on roids, jacked. He's huge now.
Oh,
Yeah,
and Jericho also wants Roman in AEW.
Right. The rumor is that people close to Roman are saying he's highly considering it because he's not happy with WWE's writing and storylines right now, and AEW seems to be the place to be, and he's already got a friend in Dean Ambrose there. So
I was to say Moxley and Reigns. Come on, baby.
if they could write them into a good storyline, the problem is, like you've said, Steve, AEW is way too top-heavy right now. Reigns ain't going to come in to be a mid-carder.
Oh, God, no.
No.
So, rumor is Keith Lee's going to be called up for the main roster, and he's going to be the one challenging Braun. The problem is, if everything going the way it's supposed to, Braun's going to lose that title to Bray. So would that mean Keith Lee's going to come up and go after the Fiend for some reason? Is Fiend going to show up and attack Mia Yim or something? I mean, this rumor seems out of place, but the rumor was he was going to drop the NXT title like he did the North American title and come to SmackDown.
He's gonna drop it to TikTok. That's what he's gonna drop it to.
I see it being a screw job. I don't see him actually dropping it. This wasn't Meltzer. This was Sportskeeda.
Meltzer?
No.
I would say that seems like some Meltzer shit, just throwing shit up against the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Well, if it's a Tokyo Dome, it'd be 6 stars. You know it.
Stars, bitch.
All right, so rumor is that AJ Styles is going to drop the IC title to Big E. Then Big E will challenge Braun for the Universal title. Again, this is assuming Braun doesn't lose to Bray, so I don't see this happening.
I don't either.
But the other rumor is AJ says he wants to retire from WWE as the IC champion. He does not want to leave. Like when he ends his run there, he wants to relinquish the title, not be titleless. But the other rumors with AJ Styles is he's going to drop down to NXT to go for their run and bring someone up. Those are the things that are going back and forth.
That's the other thing that I think that would make sense as far as AJ Styles goes. Because AJ Styles has openly said, hey, the only title that Taker's never won, I hold.
Right, but Taker's also already said he doesn't want anything to do with it.
I know, but I'm saying like in a legit for Taker to retire in an actual match, it would be perfect for him to do it at Survivor Series, where he started against AJ, and the stipulation is if Taker wins, AJ goes away, and if AJ wins, Taker finally ultimately retires.
Okay, but the whole problem with that is that Boneyard match combined with the last ride was the perfect send-off.
Yes.
And if you do that whole thing, is you ruin what that mystique recreated of The Undertaker. Because The Undertaker had his wonderful send-off after the Roman Reigns match, and then he shit the bed for how many years? No
Yep.
offense, Taker, we love
Yes.
you.
Yep.
But you shit the bed with the Brothers of Destruction versus DX and all this crap, and then you come back and you have the most masterful cinematic match ever with AJ and redeem yourself along with this wonderful documentary. Just stay home.
Yes.
Don't flare.
No
it.
more.
Don't retire
No more.
30 times.
No more.
I'm not
Don't
No
saying
be
more.
it's
Terry
gonna
Funk.
happen. I'm not saying
Don't
it's
be Terry
gonna
Funk.
happen.
You don't need to retire 12 times.
Yes.
Once
Agreed.
and done.
Yes.
Like I said, I love The Undertaker. I've loved him since I was a little kid. But I'm telling you, if they do this, it will diminish his reputation. And kids in the future, when they go back and look at Undertaker, well, he had that great look. He came back and lost again. That's going to ruin it. It's like you look at kids now, they don't get who Flair is. They don't understand why the big gold title means so much to us of our generation because it's Flair. You know, that title meant so much, but if you kept coming back trying to get it and you keep dropping it, it doesn't help it.
Like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm saying if it were to happen, that would be the story that makes sense.
Yeah, WWE writing staff, don't do that.
Please
Hopefully
do not
someone's
do it.
listening.
Yeah.
Let me just tag this next time we upload this. I'm going to tag Bruce and Conrad. Maybe they can. Oh, maybe just to Bruce because he controls the writing stuff now.
We might make him lose. We might make him lose his job though. Vince might get pissed off
Hey,
and
you
say,
know
"You're
what?
fired."
You
For
know
what, the fifth time?
The last couple
Yeah.
of times we suggested something, it's happened. Somebody's listening. And like I said, we are not saying to do this. I'm just saying that's the one story that would make sense if it were to happen.
No, thank you. I'm just going to put that after.
Oh, no, I'm not for it either. I'm just saying that's the story that makes sense if they were to do something like
I'd rather them bring back Rhino and have him wrestle Heath Slater.
that. Wait, we're talking about Impact? I thought we were.
No, that's coming up soon.
Hey, there's our transition. Here we go.
No,
Impact.
no, we're going into dark. We need to go from bad to good to bad. You know.
All right.
However, Sportskeeda did give Raw an A rating this week. So I kind of felt the same way Chris did. I didn't see it as an A. There was a lot more wrestling on it, which was good, but it wasn't great wrestling.
No.
I was gonna say that was like a C plus B minus territory, maybe.
C minus was my shot.
SmackDown was better, and SmackDown
yeah, and
wasn't
that's-
that was not next week either.
No. So AEW Dark, you guys remember how we do this. On commentary, we have Taz and Tony Schiavone still. No Excalibur still.
Every time, why do you always have to tell us the commentary though?
Because I can't wait to say Excalibur has returned. Because they change commentary quite often, actually. Sometimes it's Tony and Taz. Sometimes it's JR and Taz. It depends on who's there for
Yeah,
the dark
I was
matches.
gonna say dark. They rotate their
Yeah,
commentary.
it's not always the same. So our first match was Ray Phoenix and Lee Johnson.
Ray Phoenix.
Okay. Now there's
And
a little
Lee
bit of heat.
Johnson. Lee Johnson is the other half of the Shotgun Killers with David Ali, by the way.
Yeah. Ray Phoenix actually got a bit of heat on Twitter over this because if you see there's a part in this match where he's just supposed to be punching Lee Johnson in the face. He's cleanly going over and punching his own bicep. So it's another one of those spots that gets missed, and everyone's tagging Cornette and saying, "What do you think of this, Cornette?"
Oh,
getting
goodness.
all the smarks are getting fucking Cornette riled up.
Yeah. Which he already has hatred for AEW
He
anyways.
does. Jericho
Because-
said he doesn't want him watching anymore.
The whole thing is...
Jericho's a heel.
Well, no, but the whole thing is Cornette hates the Bucks, and that's why he hates AEW. It has nothing to do with the rest of the team.
So
It's the Bucks he hates. All right, your second match was
Shut
Shawn
up and go order a
Spears.
double cheeseburger with double cheese, double mayo, and double onion, motherfucker.
Thank you for quoting Bruce Conrad and Bruce and Conrad. Ugh. Anyhow, your second match was Shawn.
Cornette impersonation.
I wish I could. I can't squeeze my balls hard enough to get that high pitch of a voice.
He's a heel.
Motherfucker! Hey, I did it. All right, so your next match was Shawn Spears, which is the first time we've seen him in the ring in a while, versus Alex Chamberlain.
Spears.
Shawn Spears.
Match 3, Mbadu and Sean Dean. Okay. versus the Gun Club.
The Gun Club.
Gun Club.
Match 4 is Michael Stevens versus Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian.
Match 5 was Griff Garrison and Pillman Jr. versus Private Party.
Private Party.
Match 6, Pineapple Pete, Corey Hollis, and Aaron Solo versus Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express.
Match 7, the Hybrid 2. First time we've seen these guys in a while. You know, they probably were on Rona travel restrictions. What, 8? It's Hybrid 2 versus Natural Nightmares.
And who are the Natural Nightmares again?
That's
Dustin.
That's QT and Dustin,
QT Marshall.
The Nightmares.
Yeah, Nightmares.
Okay. And SCU versus Butcher and the Blade.
SCU?
Butcher and Blade?
And we have a split decision here, folks. So, Steve, you were right in all your guesses. Chris, you missed because Butcher and the Blade took the win.
I was gambling because I've picked Butcher and Blade every time, and I'm like, their streak's got to come to an end eventually, but not this week.
Now, just a little bit of AEW news. There's been some releases in AEW recently.
Yeah.
Jimmy Havoc was let go. Apparently, even after his sensitivity training, they said, nope, you're done.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're accused of doing what Havoc was accused of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadie Giggs is gone, and Bree Priestley is also gone.
Sadie's the only one I kind of am a little bit upset about. She had some talent, and she was gorgeous.
Well, the one that they said that they didn't want to let go was B. Priestley, but it was travel restrictions and with the Rona. So they just said, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to cut her contract.
Hi, Dillinger. What number are we on? 10.
Yep. Another one that was let go of was Pineapple Pete.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that wasn't highly released, but it came out in a Twitter feed somewhere along the lines that he's no longer with the company. Doesn't mean he won't do single off spots on Dark or something, but he may not be a contracted wrestler. So this takes us into Impact. Now, I will be honest, I skimmed through this on a recording because our fans don't know I got a new puppy and he requires a lot of attention. 8-week-old pug takes a lot of attention.
Skim through this segment as fast as you can, Larry.
So we had a backstage brawling with Willie Mack, and it
really
kind of matters right now. Yeah. So we start with backstage brawling.
That
Willie
kind
Mack.
of font's getting smaller.
I get it, Steve. I get it. You don't like Impact. You're not going to like Impact until something incredible happens. And, oh my God! And even then, you probably won't like it. You're quiet now, so I can continue. Just nod because I can see your face. All right, so backstage, we had brawling with Willie Mack and Eric Young. They end up at ringside. Young goes to walk away, and Mack demands to get back in the ring, have a match as they're scheduled later. Willie Mack and Eric Young. Winner was Eric Young. Wrestle House. Crap.
Rona.
Match time.
Match 2.
Is he still yelling like that?
Yes,
match
he is
time
because it's match time. That's what he does. Sorry for all those that have our voices in your earbuds right now. That was probably loud. Match 2 was Kimberly versus Jordan Grace. Hey, there you go, Steve. Jordan Grace on TV. And she picks up the W.
Yeah,
she better over Kimberly. I mean, if she drops one to Kimberly, that's losing rank.
Kimberly's trash.
Pretty much. Let's not get into that. Backstage, Reno Scum attacks Rhino and steals the money he won from Hernandez. Wait, they're going back like 3 weeks on storyline with this. This is the money he won in the arm wrestling situation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, you had to remember too, because I forgot as well. Wrestle House again.
Match time.
And this match was AC Romero and Larry D, which are the tag team of Triple XL. And I hate that he goes by the name of Larry D, because that's my first name and my middle initial. Gimmick infringement. Your winner was Larry D.
Good win, Larry. Good win.
Match 4 was a no DQ match between Havoc and Nevaeh versus Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Your winners were Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. This was a boring match. I zipped through it really fast. Match 5 was Suicide versus Dez with Wentz. I don't know who these people are, except, Suicide. And I don't even know if Suicide is the original Suicide of TJP or if it's just another guy under the mask again. There was no winner. The Good Brothers came out, and Suicide takes a magic killer. They then say Austin Ace messed with the wrong brothers. They're not leaving to Austin Ace and Fulton come out. They pop up on screen saying they're not in the arena tonight, that they'll fight on their time, and they'll be at night 1 of Emergence, their 2-night pay-per-view on TV special. Because, they're 2 months late to the party on that. And into Wrestle House again. Your 6th match tonight at Wrestle House, you have Susie versus Alicia. Your winner was Susie. You have an in-ring segment with Eddie Edwards calling out Eric Young, and we get the re-premiere of Brian Myers. So at least he's getting some TV time, and he goes for the open challenge for the title. But your winner and still was Eddie Edwards.
Is he teaching people how to face the facts?
Again, I zoomed through it, so I don't know.
And that's the legit sad part about Impact is they're taking like the jobber of jobbers in WWE, and he gets a world heavyweight title shot, his first appearance on Impact.
Yep.
His first reappearance, because he's been there before.
Yes,
but
that's
I'm
true.
saying first appearance on this run.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
like,
they have to make it
can't
big
even get
somehow.
on WWE Superstars.
No,
And you
gotta
have him
remember,
take on the world champion.
You got to remember, they got to make him feel important when he comes back. So, yeah, you're going to get a title shot. You're going to get squashed, but you're getting a title shot. Anyhow, this takes us into our Wednesday Night War. And just to start things off, I'll give you the ratings numbers. AEW Dynamite did a 792,000 to NXT's 619,000.
Yeah, I heard they both dropped really bad.
They dropped really bad.
Tag team appreciation night didn't go over very well, apparently.
There was some cool stuff in it, though. The
there was.
AEW Dynamite was pretty badass.
I thought it was an okay show. I mean, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So
I enjoyed it. So let's hop into it. I mean, commentary: Taz, JR, and Tony. One Excalibur back.
I do too, man. I do too.
Nope.
All right, so match 1. Huh?
He said leave it the way it is. I disagree.
Match 1, Young Bucks versus Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Your winners were the Young Bucks. And I thought this was a good match. I enjoyed it. A lot of fun on that one.
Very much so. And I like the way it ended as well.
Yeah,
they were trying to isolate the Bucks. They had the entranceway blocked with Nick in the entrance tunnel, and it was.
Yeah, I thought it was done really well. A lot of good heel tag team work. A lot of good, just all in all, it actually was done really well. It wasn't full of too many spot monkey moments, as Cornette likes to bitch about the Young Bucks.
Even though the Bucks, what was it, Matt that said we have the best comeback in the business? Way to break kayfabe.
Anyhow.
Kayfabe is dead.
Pretty much. Backstage segment, we get Wardlow at MJF's dressing room, and they make the march out to the ring, much like Goldberg's whole entrance. And they even mock the situation that happened when MJF was in WWE and Samoa Joe pushed him out of the shot. I thought this was pretty cool. So he comes out and he pushes one of his guards out of the way.
Lee Johnson.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty entertaining because actually MJF posted on Twitter in sync comparison of that situation where he gets pushed out of the way and where he pushes Lee Johnson, and he says, "See, Joe, this is how you do it." Like he's purposely bringing up heat, and I think it's a great way to be a heel, especially in this day and age.
MJF's just amazing to watch. He's
also, by the
so
way,
good.
if you didn't know, because we'll get back to it. I'll get to it when we get to that point. So we get a video of Kenny Omega and Hangman talking about their favorite tag team, and it's Tag Team Appreciation Night. Omega puts over the Young Bucks. Heavy.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're in the Elite. I get it, but come on, Kenny. Who was your favorite tag team as a kid type thing? Man, yeah. I love how Hangman's even said, what about us? We're the champs.
Yeah.
Aren't we our favorite tag team? You get an in-ring, and MJF is doing his address. pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
MJF's on, mic work is amazing. He's always good. Mox's music hits as you expect. He sends out his security squad to check the quote unquote crowd in the arena.
But they actually have fans there now.
Yeah, and when they do this, when he sends them out, go out and get him out of the crowd. You know he's coming through the entrance ramp.
Yes, yeah.
It's
But
like,
it's I know, but it was still funny.
It was funny, but at the same time, it's like, come on, this is obvious.
Yeah, it was very predictable. Yeah.
Have him pop out from like a trapdoor in the ring at least, or have him come through the side entrance of Daly's. Like have him come up on a scooter or something, or the back of FDR's truck or something.
Yeah, like the
Come from
FDR.
football field
Yeah.
into the side entrance of Daly.
Exactly, something different. Don't make it so predictable. But it was good. I'm not complaining that it was bad. It was just predictable.
I do want to say something on that MJF's segment. I love when he talks to that one girl because she always talks without smiling, and he always interrupts her every time and says, "You have to smile
Yeah.
when you're talking." I don't know why I think it's hilarious, but it's just the way he does it every time with her.
Yeah, it's really good stuff too. So Mox comes out, attacks MJF, hits him with the paradigm shift. The side note I was going to make is that if you actually go on MJF's Twitter, he actually went on change.org and created a petition to outlaw the paradigm
shift outlawed.
Nice.
But if you see how he sold that paradigm shift, that was probably the best sell that I've ever seen. The way he took it was nasty. It looked like it looked brutal. And I think he's probably the best one I've ever seen.
And then, of course, he's bitching about his neck and how it's so dangerous and how it needs to be outlawed.
Right. And then Mox goes backstage and says, "Don't worry, we won't be even until 9/5, which is the next pay-per-view."
The only other one that I think that took it really good was Omega when he went through that glass table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it kind of got overshadowed by the fact they went through a glass table.
Yeah,
I was there, as Bruce would say, I was there. Okay, I saw it. I was there.
Right,
That
but
was
again, the whole thing is as awesome as it is, and as awesome as Omega can sell stuff like that. The fact is that it was overshadowed by the fact that we went through a glass table. This was straight in the middle of the ring. How he took that and sold it was amazing. He looked like he got lawn darted in the middle of the ring. Just fall over. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
All right, so second match of the night. This was the one I was actually looking forward to because both these guys are great competitors. We have the TNT Championship match. We have our completed TNT Championship, and oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yes, agreed.
All the people that are giving hate on it because the big negative space in the middle, that's the TNT logo. They can't do anything with that space. It has to be open like that. Anyhow, yeah, the guy that made it, Red Leather, he kind of got some heat for it, and that was his reply to everyone. So, anyhow, I'm a belt mark. Leave me alone. So this match was Scorpio Sky challenging against Cody. And Scorpio had an interesting entrance. He actually had a door up against the entrance tunnel, and it said no admittance as he kicks the door in, which I thought was pretty cool. And then, all in all, it was a great match. I love this match. I'm a huge fan of Cody as well as Sky. They work well together. They put on a great match. If it was in the Tokyo Dome, it would be 6 stars.
I don't know about that.
Jesus, are you the writer for the Observer now? Jesus.
No, I just, that's my feelings. I enjoyed this match. It was my favorite match of the night at this point.
And I do love the fact that even after 2 Crossroads, Scorpio still wasn't laid out. He was still trying to kick out and just didn't have anything left.
Exactly. They're playing it really well. They're going to build it up a little bit. I think it was really well done. Your winner, and still, was Cody. And then you have Brody Lee coming out through the tunnel with the Dark Order, and he's holding.
Was a Tron. He wasn't.
Was it Tron? I thought it was at the tunnel. I may have seen that.
Tron.
Okay, but he's holding
it was a video of the Tron.
Okay.
He started in the back and worked his way up, but it was on the video screen. It wasn't actually in the tunnel.
So he's coming out. You see him on the screen with him holding the old TNT title, and he'll challenge Cody to for a TNT title shot on Dynamite on August 22nd. Yes, it's going to be a Saturday. Thank you, NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no definite start time because of the NBA.
The NBA. Great, thanks. Thankfully, I have TNT online. I can watch it at any time.
Hulu Plus. Or
There you go.
Hulu Live.
So then you get a video package of Private Party talking about their favorite tag teams and how much they love the Hardys.
Yeah, this was dumb, but
You know,
it was predictable. Yeah.
is Tag Team Appreciation Night.
Yeah.
Match 3 was your tag team title match: Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus Jurassic Express. It was an all right match. It wasn't anything I'd go crazy for. You know, all these guys in the match work. You know, the whole thing with Marco Stunt still getting Kenny Omega's face is funny. I'm hoping we get a good singles match between them. I think that would be hilarity.
Marco and his bucket hat.
Yeah. They were putting over that bucket hat pretty hard, too. It's like, that's a nice bucket hat. But your winners and still tag team champs is Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Backstage, you have Santana and Ortiz have the gear bags of the best friends, and they toss in a shower and dump bleach on their gear.
Which was dumb because you never even saw the best friends all night long.
Right. It's
Who
like,
knows if they were even there?
right. And you didn't get a reaction spot out of this, so it's like, I really think they should have done more with this.
And I understand dumping bleach on their stuff, but really?
It's just a rivalry
You're just
thing.
gonna make
They're
it
just
smell weird and change it colors. Big deal.
well, we'll see. We'll see the color change. They'll probably wear their gear next week.
That'll be entertaining. If they come out and it's all like cow spotted, that would be funny.
Yeah.
But some gear, some material is bleach resistant. So if they, you know,
See, yeah, that's when they come out and go, "Joke's on you."
I don't know. It's just a bullying segment that they keep doing with them every week.
yeah. At least it wasn't, you know, the van again, because you know that was sad.
Dr. Moms Everywhere cried.
Oh man, I hope Sue's okay.
So they then talked to Butcher and Blade to talk about their favorite tag teams, and they picked the Road Warriors or Legion of Doom, which that I thought was predictable. So I want to take a pause. I want to take a pause here and ask you guys your favorite tag teams. Just since we're talking about it so much, you got to have favorites.
Edge and Christian always stands out to me.
I have two for two different styles. The high flying styles, it was the Hardys, and for the brawling fighting styles, Harlem Heat.
See, and I'm gonna go where neither of you went, and I've always loved the New Age Outlaws. I was a huge New Age Outlaws fan when they first got together. Even through their run in DX, I thought they were great. You can't get anything better than that entrance with those two, and then they worked well together. They were so good.
That was my thing. Is I love the Outlaws, but to coin a phrase from Bruce Pritchard, and then the bell rang.
But see, that's not the case because Billy Gunn's great in the ring. Road Dogg's great in the ring.
Yeah, I thought they were fine.
They were a great tag team, and they held the titles multiple times. I'm surprised none of us picked the Dudleys, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I love them in ECW.
So my honorable mention would be, and this is one that never really stands out to people, is Owen and British Bulldog.
Yeah.
They were really good, yeah. Owen and Yoko, that was a good one too, yeah.
But when I say and then the bell rang, I'm talking about when I'm comparing them to the other tag teams, the two tag teams I mentioned.
Sure.
The Hardys and Harlem Heat would outwork the Outlaws any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
And I'm not denying that. I am not denying that in any way, shape, or form. The thing is, I really have always loved the New Age Outlaws. You can say I'm a DX mark all you want, but I loved them. I thought they were great in the ring. If I had to go with an honorable mention, I'd have to go classic. And even though they didn't get a lot of ring time, a lot of popularity, Skip and Zip, the Body Donnas. I'm a huge Candido fan, man.
Skip and Zip.
My honorable mention would be the Steiners.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Steiners,
I like that
are
one
great,
a lot.
Yeah. See, I'm a huge Candido fan, so anything he did, I thought was gold for the most part. And even if it was him being a stupid, fitness guru, I thought it was hilarious and I loved it. So
No, that was Nova.
No, Nova did that as well, but the Body Donnas were fitness gurus as well.
Yeah.
Nova was Simon Dean.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyhow, so this takes us into the tag team appreciation segment. In the ring, you have the Young Bucks, Rock and Roll Express, Arn and Tully. For those of you that don't know their tag team name, it was the Brainbusters and FTR. The Young Bucks thank Ricky and Robert for their influences, put them over pretty hard. Dax admits he's a mark for both teams because of them. They've got to make a living doing what they do. Ricky Morton tells FTR they have the best chemistry since Arn and Tully, and then tells the Bucks they're the best team they've seen in a long time. Arn grabs the mic and wants to catch up Tully. Arn tells the Bucks they've taken wrestling something entirely different. His hat's off to them. He notes that Rock and Roll Express have been going for 40 years and it's still impressive. Blah, blah. I mean, it's really just, how long are they going to blow Rock and Roll Express here?
And then the worst working punch in the history of wrestling happens.
Well, I mean, I liked Tully going off at the beginning. I loved his segment.
Completely justified.
It was so good. You guys are saying you're the best and you want to be the best, but you guys don't have gold on you. You guys can't even be talking about that. And
I love
it also really felt like what we've been talking about for weeks is it's really, really evolving that Horseman thing too.
Yeah, and I love how Tully turns to Arn and says he doesn't understand why he's aligned with the Nightmare Family. And,
that was good too. Yep.
And then Spears comes out and Arn's like, okay, I see where this is headed. I'm out of here.
Pretty much, yeah. And then FTR does a swerve and attacks Rock and Roll Express. And Spike piles drive Ricky Morton. The Bunks look after the best seller in the business, as they say, and as Hangman and Omega enter to stare off at FTR. So do we see a title change happening soon?
Yep.
I see FTR holding the tag gold pretty soon. I really do. I'm probably saying it all out. It happens.
But is it going to be like a triple threat?
I see it straight being Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus FTR.
And then
because
if that would still happen, I'd see a Page screw job.
I see, and helping FTR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that, which is how we've been pushing it. And then I see, obviously, the whole thing of you've got the Young Bucks. They're intertwined with the Dark Order right now, so they're going to continue that storyline.
Okay.
So I see it really going. It's going to be a tag match, and FTR is going to take those titles, and they're going to start the building of the Four Horsemen again.
And Page is going to turn on Omega.
Yeah, he's got to.
That's the only way this works.
Yeah.
Because Page is going with the Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, I mean, come on. How could he not?
Everything about Page screams Horsemen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
right, so
the only other I want to say one more thing on this. The only other thing on that, and I know you guys are really big on Cody's going to turn. They keep bringing Spears out with Tully. It could just be Spears as the fourth guy.
I don't see it working because the Spears hasn't got enough on-air time to make it work. They need so the way the Horsemen worked before is you had the heavyweight championess or the main singles guy.
Your Flair. You got your tag team. Yep.
You got your tag team, and then you have your fourth guy, who's your backup.
Which you're young and up-and-comer, which is like your Benoit. Yeah.
So in this case, Hangman Adam Page is young and up-and-comer. Your tag team's FTR. That makes they need a top-tier guy. They need a main eventer.
It's got to be Cody.
It's got to be Cody. They're not going to make it Omega. They're not going to pull Jericho into this.
Well, what would be fun on this then is if Page tries to screw over somehow, Omega kicks out or whatever it is, Cody comes down, what are you doing? And then actually turns on Omega.
That could work too as a swerve, but then but the thing is Spears and Omega, Spears and Cody have had history. Yeah. So that's not going to work with them being in the same faction. They're not going to be able to get along.
No. I'm saying that's how Cody solidifies the Four Horsemen and becomes the Four Horsemen. He turns on Omega.
Here's how I would do it. Is there's a TNT title match going on. Spears comes out. Cody wins. Spears comes out, and he's going to attack Arn for not defending Tully, right? So that's what they think. And then Cody gets in front and protects Arn from Spears, only to turn around and crossroads Arn. And out he goes. And then Spears comes and defends Arn, and then that's how the switch happens.
I could see that working. I'd hate to see them do that to Arn, but I could also see Arn pushing it and helping the New Horsemen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. I still see Arn with Tully as managers of the Horsemen.
Yeah, you have Tully handling the tag part of it and Arn handling the singles part of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Because if you look at it, there's never been two managers in the Horsemen. It's always been JJ.
Hey, it's time to change because this is the New Horsemen.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to remember, they're referencing old school stuff, but they're not trying to blatantly steal old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So this takes us into a backstage segment. Jericho reminds Mike Chioda, which it's good to see him on TV again. He's always a great ref.
Chioda's back there.
And that he saved his job before and expects him to do the right thing in tonight's match.
Which is funny throughout that match. He's like giving him the winks and the thumbs ups behind.
Chioda's just sitting there like.
Yeah, Chioda's like, huh?
Like what? What do you want me to do? So your fourth match was Heather Monroe versus Sheeta. Your winner was Sheeta. Sheeta tells her challengers to bring it on. So apparently she's a teenage dance-off competition. That's all she can think of. I mean, what the hell?
Well, I mean, she can barely speak English. That's probably the only English she knows.
So put her with Vicky Guerrero. Oh, God, then we'd have to get Vicky Guerrero out there again.
Yeah.
Which she has signed a long-term contract with AEW.
Well, that's because they're taking care of the Guerrero family.
Exactly. Her daughter's a ring announcer now, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least on, the Deadly Draw. So, backstage, we get Jake the Snake talking about instilling fear into his opponents as Lance Archer just destroys people. He stops and asks...
This was weird.
Yeah. He stops and asks Jake if he told him yet, and he says, not yet. Archer rips off the $300 shirt from Jake, and on his back it says, everybody dies. So I get he's trying to put over this everybody dies slogan.
Yeah.
Not a bad slogan, but... the whole thing is, honestly, the way they built Archer, he was set to be this monster, this unstoppable monster. And then he lost to Cody, and since then we haven't seen any shit happen.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm happy Cody was the first TNT champion. I really am, because I think that's going to help bring some good lineage to that belt. However, you killed Archer in the process.
Yeah.
Archer should not have dropped in that situation. Archer in that tournament should have taken the tournament if you're going to put a monster in there like that. And then have Cody come back and win, because Archer's not prepared or Archer isn't ready for him, type thing. But no, they didn't make it that way. They built this monster and he gets beaten by Cody.
It was just also it was also bizarre how it was like he rode on Jake's back and ripped off his shirt.
Yeah,
it's like he's putting his own manager at risk now.
He's punking his manager, and it is very weird. It's like it may have been better as if you had like all the time you hear all this commotion in the background, and then you see these guys with their shirts ripped off, and it says everybody dies as they're laid out on the ground. That would have made more sense.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, and you said that it's a really cool slogan. If you think back to our old roundtable show, when we did factions, that was the name of one of my factions that I created, was Everybody's Gonna Die.
I mean, come on. Joe's slogan was great. Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's gonna kill you.
I believe that faction, I think, was the Viking Raiders, Hanson, or not Hanson.
It was the Viking one we were talking about.
Viking Raiders.
Alistair Black.
And Alistair Black.
The Norwegian murder house.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna die.
Oh, WWE, please make it happen. Hire Eric Rowan back and make it happen, please. So this takes us into our main event, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy 2.
This one kind of fell flat for me. It wasn't
the
greatest.
It was fine.
I'm glad they put Orange Cassidy over. It was great. I mean, that's the way it had to end, because if he didn't, you're just burying Orange Cassidy after all this build.
True.
And you're making him fork over $7,000.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not going to hurt Jericho taking a loss to Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
it really isn't. But it's going to build Cassidy being he's gotten one over on Jericho.
The weird part about this match was the ending. So he wins, and then they just run off TV. That's what was really weird. There was like no celebration. It was just like, all right, everybody, we gotta go. Cassidy wins. You know.
Well, because they actually pay attention to TV time. They
I
don't
know,
pay
but
extra for TNT, which brings me into an
It felt
interesting
like
thing
something
about
else. It felt like something else should have happened. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Somebody
well, apparently,
went over on a promo, and
Yeah.
apparently off screen they did do that. Apparently Jericho's beside himself and getting upset.
Yeah, like it's temper tantrum thing. Yeah, like something
Exactly.
like that.
I saw a clip where Jericho was like literally like on the verge of starting to bawl because he lost.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I needed to see that as a fan.
But see,
you know?
the whole thing is TNT that they're being very strict on their time restraints.
Yeah.
And some news we didn't cover last week. Apparently, TNT's executive got shaken up, and AEW's main friend in the organization,
Is not
Turner,
there
has
anymore.
left. So the guy that really championed to bring them in is no longer with the company, and the person that took his place doesn't really understand wrestling. So now Tony Khan's got to make new connections and really kind of keep putting it over. They're at risk of losing their secondary show that they were going to make, their 1 hour show.
I was just going to
So-
ask about that when you were talking about that. I was like, no more Thunder?
So
No more
it
Rumble.
was no more Rumble. No more-
Lightning?
exactly. So the whole thing is at risk. They haven't said it's a no-go yet.
And I think it'll go. I think it'll still go, but if anything,
If they
it'll
keep
wind up going to
ratings
YouTube.
draws, if they keep doing the rating draws where they keep beating NXT, it'll probably happen. But it's going to be weary about what night they're going to put it on. Most likely, they're going to say, "Oh, we'll put it on Saturday night." So you can't do that. It's our pay-per-view night. You can't have this show on our pay-per-view night. Well, yeah, we just put it on before the pay-per-view time, so it'll be like WWE's old Sunday Night Heat.
Sunday Night Heat. Yep.
Mm,
You know, I could see them doing that. I really could.
yeah.
So
I could see him doing a Sunday night show too, because there ain't nothing on TNT on Sunday night.
yeah, but it would have to be Saturday night to go into the pay-per-view.
I'm saying if they don't want to have it be a lead-up show,
Yeah.
put it on Sunday night.
So with NXT, I did watch it on the 1 hour Hulu recap. Thank you, Steve, for pointing those out to me. I forgot about them. I did enjoy it, especially without the commercials and probably some stuff cut out that I didn't need to see. So
Yeah,
your
I
first-
DVR it and I just fast forward through the ads, fast forward through the matches that don't interest me. Like I can still watch them, but I'm watching them at like 2.5x.
exactly, it's like, okay, he won, got it.
Pretty
Yep.
much.
All right, so you had Danny Burch versus Karrion Cross.
May you
Squash.
rest in peace, Danny Burch.
Yes, it was a winner. Karrion Cross wins via ref stoppage. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match, but it was definitely a squash match. Killian Dane versus Drake Maverick to a no contest.
Who did Drake Maverick piss off to have to get in the ring with Killian Dane?
Yeah, seriously. Santos Escobar versus Tyler Breeze. Winner was Santos Escobar.
Stupid.
Indy Hartwell versus Mia Yim.
There
Mia
had to
Yim-
been there had to have been some like wardrobe issues with Mia Yim because this match was really edited really choppy.
Yeah, but they're playing up the whole thing that Mia Yim's distraught over Keith because of the fireball to the face from the contract signing with
Because
Karrion Cross.
even at
and-
the end of the match, she's yanking up her top and stuff like that. And there were some times where it was like she was about to come out of that thing, and
a little low, yeah.
I'm
No.
sure that there was something that they had to edit out, and it made it just look really, really choppy.
Probably. Your next match was Damian Priest versus Bronson Reed. Your winner is Bronson Reed. They're pushing him hard.
I know. Why? I don't get it.
They like the thick boy, apparently.
Just put my belt on Damian Priest, for God's sakes.
I agree with Steve in this. Your next match was Aaliyah and Mercedes versus Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Who the hell are these people?
Casey Catanzaro is the American
the
Ninja
American
Warrior
Ninja
chick.
Warrior, and
She's dating
Okay.
Ricochet.
Oh,
and
okay.
Caden Carter is a beautiful hybrid of an African American woman and a Puerto Rican.
Okay. Your winners were Aaliyah and Mercedes. So they didn't. The
Yep.
people we were just asking about didn't win. So
Yep.
match 7 was a triple threat for the NXT North American ladder match. contendership. You had Cameron Grimes versus Kushida and the returning Velveteen Dream.
That's cool. He's
Now,
back. You know.
So hold on, I gotta just say something. They're actually putting some effort into Cameron Grimes here because
Okay,
he's getting
my
more
only
of a
thing-
gimmick.
My only thing with Cameron Grimes is drop this whole "I'm taking it to the moon" crap, because that makes no freaking sense whatsoever.
unless he's gonna be steampunk eventually. I mean, he's gonna build a country western space shuttle.
Or
Taking it
no,
to the moon.
no. If he just says that same phrase and then pauses for a while and then says "shine" afterwards.
Start bringing out a
give you
jug.
that.
Yeah.
Brings out a jug with a moon on it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love the hillbilly hero gimmick, but it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
take it to
it's
the
ri-
moon just makes no sense.
when he first started coming out and it was just the hat and
Yeah.
the vest. I'm like, I didn't get it. And then they actually gave him some time with the mic, and he's got the backdrop of the woods, and you see the brown leather laces. It's like, okay, they're doing subtle things, and okay, hillbilly, I get it. I can see it. But your
they
winner,
need to just put that slogan on him. They need to put the hillbilly hero.
hillbilly
slogan
hero,
on him.
yeah.
Yes.
Your winner of this match was Cameron Grimes.
Shocking.
Yeah, I was
So,
as soon as Dream came out, I'm like, okay, Dream's in this to give him
Yeah.
power.
Exactly.
and then you had Finn come out afterwards because Dream's going crazy on Kushida. And Finn comes out because apparently it's going to be Velveteen Dream versus Finn to see who's going to get a next opportunity match.
Okay, and that you probably missed it because it was on the hour, but Chris, if you watched it, what in the world was up with that stupid weird ass promo with Johnny Gargano and
Oh no, I saw that. I saw that.
that made no sense.
It was
whatsoever.
hilarious though. I love that he had Doc on a picture frame. I think that was hilarious.
Are you guys talking about the dinner stuff?
No, the stuff where they're in their house and she's reading a book to their dog, and Johnny Gargano's climbing a ladder and changing a light bulb, and it's weird shit, but I enjoyed it. I really
Made
did.
no sense
Well,
whatsoever.
Well, he's supposed to be in that North American Championship. He's against one of those jobbers. But it was supposed to be Finn against that Ridge Holloway or whatever his name is. He was last week. He's some new guy. They had a triple threat match. I don't know. He lost. The guy lost to Damian Priest.
Yeah, but at this point, they just announced it's going to be Finn versus Dream.
Which that's weird because 2 weeks ago they said Finn was going to verse one of those guys that lost to Damian Priest, and then Johnny Gargano was going to verse the other guy that lost to Damian Priest.
But didn't one of them get hurt, so they just one of them got hurt and they're automatically out, so they're just kind of throwing someone in.
That was Loomis, and he won his match.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think they just awarded it to Gargano instead or something. I don't know. Because Gargano's already apparently in it based on the way he's talking.
Okay, Gargano's in it. I mean, it was obvious that Gargano was going to win that one match, but the other one with Finn looked like it was obvious he was going to win his match. But if he's against Dream now, I don't know who's going to win between those two.
Well, so I'd love to see it
swerving us.
Yeah, they're making it up as they go along.
Yeah,
I'd really love to see it be Finn, just because Dream's already had the North American title. I'd love to see Finn get an opportunity with it.
Well, and I would rather see Finn as well because he's better with ladder matches than Dream.
But that also doesn't make any sense because the rumor has it is Finn's going back up to SmackDown here before too long.
Oh my goodness, why?
Yeah, the rumors him and AJ are switching places.
I mean, I'm okay with AJ coming down, but keep Finn down too. I thought it was a good idea for them to bring Finn in NXT again. They're just not using him properly. Silence.
You're right. What are we supposed to say? I mean, you can't really argue that.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So that takes us into SmackDown. I'll let one of you take lead on this because I did catch it, but it was in kind of a recap mode. So
hold on. Breaking news alert.
Oh, that's absolutely great.
Nice.
We have merch. Hot off the presses. Impact Matters. Kinda.
The font for kinda needs to be smaller.
Wow.
No, it's actually pretty small.
It's pretty tiny as it is.
I would say it's actually pretty small.
No, that's cool.
The reason it looks bigger is because it's so closer to the camera. Like if you move it away,
It just looks like dots.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord.
All right,
All right.
SmackDown, let's go. We got 15 minutes to get this thing closed.
All right, I'll take it over. All right, so we got Big E and John Morrison starting out with an opening contest.
Or you think
Right.
so?
Yeah, Retribution comes in, attacks.
Dun dun.
So then they start having backstage segments of people freaking out, and Sheamus eventually says he's going to take over, and Corbin says he's going to take over.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Corbin's like, we need leadership, and I'm that leader, and everybody's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, everyone walked away from
Yeah,
him.
I remembered that, and I was kind of fast forwarding through that because I can't stand Corbin on the mic, anyways.
Yep. So then they start getting security all around the doors for Retribution. They're not coming back in here again, which will lead up to that because it got really dumb on how Retribution got back in. So after that, we get our battle royal, our underwhelming battle royal for Bayley's SmackDown Championship.
Which why they let Bailey and Sasha do the announcing on this was
They let them do it every week, so
Bad.
yeah.
Very bad.
like just take the mics away from them, please. But the announcing for this battle royal was stupid.
All right, so our contestants are Iconics.
Oh my god!
Just as ear piercing when you say it. Seriously, dude.
Don't ever do that
Oh
again.
my god, it's just as bad as the actual.
I know you thought the
Oh.
theme music was about to hit right there. I get it. So then we had Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox from NXT. No Rhea Ripley, which Steve wanted.
Can I just say I missed the tank? Why wasn't the tank there?
Because the
I-
tank is an NXT exclusive.
Yeah, and that's too much time. So we get Lacey Evans, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, and Tamina.
So basically, every woman who was backstage that showed up that was cleared of the Rona.
Pretty much.
Yep.
What's that? 13?
11?
12?
I don't know. I lost count.
I'm gonna go with a dozen. I think that's where it's at.
So we had Tamina looking like a powerhouse for a while. She eliminated Cross, eliminated a few other people. Then Bianca Belair eliminates her. And then it eventually turns into Asuka, Baszler, and Tegan Knox. And Asuka wins.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
So I'm following along with you guys looking online here, and apparently Sportskeeda gave that match an A.
Sportskeeda, just
Bleacher-
like Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report
Have
gave it a
lost their
C
minds.
minus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's the bigger SmackDown mark on this situation here.
Yeah, it was C minus for Bleacher Report. And they said it was not a good match.
Yeah, it was.
They're not lying.
It was a time filler.
Yep.
This is I got a P match because you didn't
Yeah.
miss much.
Well, that was disappointing because, like WWE does with these battle royals, we always have our high hopes, and we get let down.
I mean, it made the most sense if you're not going to put both belts on Asuka, which they obviously are going to do, is to
Mhm.
have Rhea Ripley get into that, and that's how you push Rhea Ripley to the main roster.
I agree with that.
So then after that, we get Mandy Rose with a promo to Sonya Deville.
Somebody going to be bald.
And
I hope to God it's not.
that is
I hope it's
awesome.
Sonya for sure. Yeah,
I-
you don't get too many hair versus hair matches anymore.
Yes, I was very happy to hear the stipulation of the match. So yeah, I'll give that part an A.
Now, if we listen to what Bruce Pritchard has talked about with hair matches, they better have plug-in clippers because chargeable battery ones don't work on wet hair.
I hope they go like WrestleMania 21-ish on it when Molly Holly got hers cut off by Victoria. They got the entire barber set up with the restraints and
Nice.
I hope they just put like Sonya Deville in like a mohawk or something. Like,
I don't know. I could
With
see,
Taz
I could
saying-
see her having a shaved head.
with Taz saying that's Luigi, he cuts my hair.
oh,
All
good
right.
lord.
So next we get Shorty G against Sheamus. Who cares? Sheamus wins. And yeah, Bleacher Report makes a good point. So is Shorty G a heel or a baby face? Because we
He's
don't
like Big
know.
Show. He flips back and forth.
We
Yeah,
have no idea.
He's a
Yeah.
flopper.
Gross.
And then we get. I thought it was fun. We get AJ Styles promo.
I like this. I actually went back and watched it again because I love Joseph Parks anyways. I'm
I
a
was
huge
just saying,
I
Abyss
love
fan.
Joseph
Did you-
Parks.
Did
Yes.
anybody? I was gonna say, did anybody else catch that was Abyss?
Yes.
Like when I first saw the first part of the promo when they're backstage, I'm like, wait a second, that's Joseph Parks. What the-
Yeah.
I thought they let Abyss go.
Yeah.
Because he was on Impact not too long ago. Like I really thought they completely severed ties with him again.
Sure.
Because he was a backstage.
Yeah, he's a producer.
He's a producer. So unless I guess they must have rehired him or something. But I was so happy to see him.
Me too. I was so happy to see two TNA alumni together.
Seriously.
It was great.
But think of. Oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. I don't want to take away from it.
But yeah, so just a little history on this. I don't know if you knew this, Steve, but he also did play Joseph Parks in TNA and would play this character that would act very, very scared all the time and be Abyss at the same time.
Yeah, it was like a split personality type thing.
He did the whole
Yes.
corporate Kane and Kane situation, the same idea.
It was awesome.
He was a very nervous Joseph Parks. They're supposed to be twins.
Yeah. So it is called the Phenomenal Intercontinental Statistics System, aka PISS.
Piss.
It's a working title.
I loved AJ's reaction. Is piss. Oh wait, working title.
It's a working title.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was really good. AJ's is pretty much saying that he's the only one that deserves to have the title and nobody else deserves to challenge him. He gets interrupted by Jeff Hardy. Looks like there's
Which now you have 3 TNA alumni in there.
Yeah. And it looks like
haven't they all been TNA heavyweight champion, if I remember correctly?
Yep.
Because Abyss
Yes,
was the champion.
Abyss has
yeah.
won at one time, yes. Yeah.
And
He's had
even though Jeff
tons-
Hardy's run for tainted with that immortal belt, it's
And
Still a champion.
This title run, it was like, oh crap, he's about to retire, and we've never given him the belt. Here you go.
Yes, yeah.
it's kind of like Kane's like, he win it. Oh, we need it back.
Yeah, he had tons of main event shots, but he would always lose. That they had that as a running joke for him in TNA. But yeah, so this was fine. I'm good with Hardy and Styles at SummerSlam. It's fine with me.
I enjoyed the backstage part of it when they go to wipe his name off the board. He's like, permanent marker, really, Joseph Parks, permanent marker.
And he's just doing his nervous thing again, which is great. Oh man! After that, we get Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke.
Oh, but talk about the backstage where they steal the belts from him. I thought that was funny.
You can go on it. I don't remember
So
it.
they did a backstage segment right before this match where you have Cesaro and Shinsuke stand there, and in the background you see the racks, you see their tag title stand there, and they're talking about how you're going to beat him. I'm going to squash him like a bug, all this stuff. And you see Grand Malik and Lince Dorado sneak up behind him and steal the titles. As Shinsuke and Cesaro turn around, they're like, what the hell? And they run, like, get the hell off the screen real quick.
Carlisto is back.
Yeah. The reason I probably missed it is because whenever I see Lucha House Party, I just fast forward.
Well, this actually happened before that thing with the permanent marker. It was like in between them.
I don't know how I missed it, but yeah, if I
Are
see
you
those
watching the
past-
recap?
No, I watched it live. I'm
Wow.
just saying if I see the mask, I just fast forward. I'm super bored by those guys.
The only one that was decent, I thought, was Kalisto, and he's back, thankfully.
Yeah. Kalisto's not bad, but I liked him more with Sin Cara when they were
Agreed.
Lucha
Yeah,
Dragons.
Yep. But at least he makes the house party at least watchable.
I'm still out. Next, we get the Alexa Bliss interview.
This was weird.
It was fine.
I'm not saying it was bad. It just felt.
It's
Little
supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the point of it. Is just to make it really weird and see. I don't know. It's just to make Bliss kind of seem like you don't know which side she's going to go on. I liked it.
Oh, I liked it too. It was just one of those where you're just kind of watching it kind of cross-eyed.
Yeah. After that, we get Sonya Deville accepting the challenge. Then I fast forwarded it because she's just bad on the mic.
Somebody's losing some hair.
Yeah.
Again, give her a mohawk. That'll be entertaining.
And then we have Big E versus John Morrison again.
Stretch muffler. Yeah.
However, they have it almost like a
this was
like
really
a lumberjack match. They have
not at first.
Not at first, no.
That's why it's weird. Because they have them come out and they have them wrestle, and then they go to commercial break and they come back and the whole entire locker room is out there all of a sudden randomly.
They're
And
looking for retribution, man.
oh yeah, they're definitely coming out to the ring. Oh no! Now
They're
since the whole locker room's in the front, Retribution comes backstage and jumps whatever producers are back there.
Whatever
And locks
producers,
someone in a
referees,
bathroom and
Yeah,
taking
I mean,
out the
that-
referee. What good is taking out referees?
it was.
I don't know. I want to know what good it is locking someone in the bathroom. Okay, I'll take a nap. Turn off the light and take a nap.
And then one of the referees that did not get jumped comes and alerts the superstars, and they run to the back again. Big circus show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just feel like.
Somebody
Where's
put
Doink?
a-
Yeah.
Somebody put a quarter in the merry-go-round.
Exactly, man. That's what it felt like. So this segment I just thought was stupid.
I'll agree with you on that.
Eventually,
That is,
Big E does win the
definitely-
match.
Definitely JPS.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just plain stupid.
Yeah. So eventually, Big E does win the match. And then the other thing that was weird about it, too is how Miz is like, "Yeah, I don't have any beef with these guys. Your tag team partner earlier in the show got jumped by them, but you have no beef with Retribution. Makes no damn sense."
He doesn't,
JPS
want
again.
he doesn't want to get the shit kicked out of him because Miz can't really fight.
Yeah.
No offense to Miz. I think he's a great talent. I think that's the whole thing they're pushing on is he doesn't want to get in a fight. He's got kids, he's got a wife, he's got a TV show to keep going. Cannonball.
All right.
Misses.
Then our final segment, we get the Braun Strowman Baldy coming out. Clean shaved, bald head.
Like this, I was not expecting this. I enjoyed the segment. Don't get me wrong, but it took me a couple minutes. I'm like, Bald Strowman. There's the new name, Bald Strowman.
Yeah, I didn't know how I felt about it. I was like, it's fine.
Like,
So
I mean,
if you're not the Fiend, the swamp takes your hair out.
Well, no, but what I was saying is, it kind of makes sense because Strowman did have that big giant bald spot in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand why he finally did it. As a gentleman with long hair myself, I get it.
Yeah.
But it was like, whoa.
Well, the thing is, I bet Pritchard didn't know he was doing it. Was probably pissed because the same thing happened with Kurt. Because when Kurt Angle lost the hair versus hair match, it was because he was going bald and he was about to shave his head because he was tired of it. And Bruce was like, no, let's do it on TV. Let's make something out of it.
Absolutely.
How much do you think Pritchard's losing his mind when he's doing that like that?
Ron, what the hell?
Yep, I would agree with that. This
Beard
segment
versus hair match. There we go. Beard versus hair match.
No, you do not want to see Adam Shearer without that beard. You do not
I
want to
have.
see it.
I know. It's not pretty.
No, it is not.
This segment was awesome though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Love
we
it.
we don't know
Segment
what Braun is. Yeah.
2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what Braun is. Alexa's trying to talk to him and say, "Hey,
I love how it
Smacking
just
the
showed his
piss
strength.
out
He
of
just
him.
gorilla presses her like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like,
And he's just holding her there.
Yep, and then it's
that
kind of
had
like
to be
fakes-
uncomfortable for her, though. I mean, that.
Yeah, he fakes at every corner of the ring that he's going to throw her
But
until
that's
the
to
end
get-
when he
that's to
does.
get the Fiend's attention.
Yep, yeah, because slowly the Fiend starts turning out the lights, and yeah, it was great. I liked it a lot.
And my question is this how we're getting a double turn? Are we
That's,
getting
I'm
I
seeing
think
that.
so.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
definitely.
that.
I think it's definitely going to be a double turn because when the lights go out and they come back on as red,
Yep,
Braun's gone and the Fiend is there.
yeah.
Fiend's there just standing over Alexa Bliss and Braun's just sitting there laughing on the Tron.
But
Yeah.
here's the other thing too with this whole segment, and he mentions it like how Steve mentions it every time. The Fiend changes everyone, and he's changing, Alexa's changing, but is the Fiend also changing? So it's like 3 people? I don't know. There's a lot of questions with it, but I like
the
it.
thing I could see what's happening is because Braun changed, he took some of the Fiend's power. So the Fiend is now less of the Fiend and more of Bray.
Sure.
And I think the Fiend changing is because of the ties that are going to be revealed between the Fiend and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Because the Fiend had never attacked a woman before.
That's true.
And now there's there's some sort of feeling interchange between Alexa Bliss and the Fiend.
That could make a lot of sense. I could see how that would work.
Yep. So that was SmackDown. Overall,
Like I
way
said,
better than Raw.
Yeah,
Hopefully
a lot better than Raw.
this brings some sort of Abigail storyline in. If it's not a full-blown Abigail character, like at least bring some sort of semblance of Abigail into the picture.
I think they will, because you see the soft spot that the Fiend has for Alexa Bliss.
It's
And like I
probably
said,
more like a hard spot.
like, again, like I said, if it could be like, when he put the mandible claw in there on Alexa Bliss, it transferred a little bit of Abigail into Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And now Abigail can possess Alexa Bliss whenever she wants, something like that. That would work for me.
Yeah, I could see that working, absolutely. And then there are some other rumors that have been flying around. Apparently, Braun Strowman reached out to AEW,
Oh my.
but that's all I've heard is someone's reporting that there was a actual
Yeah, I
reach
heard
out.
about that. Yeah,
Don't know any details on it, but
I actually
it's,
heard it was the other way around, that AEW reached out to Braun.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they could do anything to pull any heat or power away from WWE. They're going to. Although, I mean, they've been just flat out kicking the crap out of WWE for the longest time now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, it's not going to surprise me at all if Dynamite eventually moves to Monday night.
The only thing I see about that is Tony Khan made a point to say he doesn't want to compete head to head with WWE like that, and that's why they picked Wednesdays, and then WWE announced NXT on USA. NXT was still on Wednesdays, but they were on the network only. They weren't on USA yet.
Right.
Yeah,
and as soon as
true.
AEW got their TV deal, they're like, oh, no, we're moving it to USA. Let's get a deal.
Yeah. I
So
remember that.
Tony Khan wanted to build AEW for itself, wanted to
Yep.
build AEW for something on its own. Because you can watch NXT on the network at any time, or the recap on Hulu a couple days, whatever. That doesn't really do anything for ratings. They weren't in a ratings war.
Yep.
And Tony Khan didn't want to step into a ratings war off the bat. That would be a really right away. I think AEW would take over the ratings if they went head to head with Raw for the first month or so. But if they didn't have strategic things planned, they eventually would fall flat.
I don't know. I think they're going to see that they dominated NXT, and then they're going to go after something else.
I can see what you're saying in time, but again, I don't think up front it should have been there, and that was why.
I'm
Tony
not
Khan,
saying right away either. I'm just saying eventually I can see them shifting Dynamite to either Monday or Friday.
I'd say they probably have better luck of Friday, except Friday is not a good ratings night.
No,
It's not.
Well, right now during pandemic wrestling, it's fine because everyone's home. But
Sure.
the whole thing is Monday night was a bigger night for wrestling. Everyone knows that it's a wrestling night.
Yep.
For the longest time, Thursday was always a wrestling night. But Friday has never been a big wrestling night. That's part of why TNA died, because they used to run Friday nights.
Yep.
That's part of why ECW died. They ran Friday nights.
And that's why SmackDown is always on again, off again from Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, they've been Thursday, they've been Tuesday, they've been Friday. It's-
multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's the whole thing. Friday is not the best fit for wrestling, and I think the only reason it's working for SmackDown now is because they're on Fox, and it's a major network. It's not cable. Everyone can pick up Fox, and it's broadcast nationwide without having to have a cable provider.
Yep.
So I think that's the difference. And the fact that you have AEW on TNT, this was something that I've also learned, that apparently TNT is the only network. Turner Networks are the only ones that are carried by every cable and satellite provider across the nation. USA is in a next tier package. You have to pay for another level to get USA Network.
Mhm.
So if you're getting WWE on cable, that's great. You're having to pay additional, but you're getting AEW for free
Mhm.
in your basic package.
Yeah.
So that's part of where the ratings victory would come, because if you're not paying for the next level up to get USA Network in your package, you're not going to see WWE programming unless you have Hulu or something to watch it later. So the way the rating systems work, I don't think they're going to go by that very much. I mean, it's great to see that, oh yeah, you know, AEW's kicking NXT's ass. That's great. It's awesome to see that the startup company is doing wonderful, that people we care about are doing as well as they are. But at the same time, I don't think they should move them to Monday. I think they need to. I think they need to build on what they have on Wednesday night, make Wednesday night a mainstay, and eventually make WWE move.
Which is what they kind of wanted to do in the first place, like you were
Right.
saying before. That's everything,
That's
guys.
the week.
Yeah.
That's the week in wrestling, and it wasn't as painful as it could have been, but believe me, it wasn't as easy to get through.
I'm excited to see this week's go home stuff for SummerSlam.
The only thing that's going to be weird is Wednesday is going to be awkward.
Well, not necessarily. It's not necessarily going to be awkward because AEW is building up to All Out on the 5th.
Yes, but AEW is
And-
going to be on Saturday.
Well, that's very
Yeah, that's true.
So
Well, we'll
NXT
get
is
built
going to
up- we'll get
NXT is going to go
NXT
unopposed. So let's see how the ratings go for NXT, because they're going unopposed this week. Well, no,
And
they're going to get the first half of All Out from last year.
Yeah. Well, they should be good because they're going to be setting up for Takeover as well. So
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
setting up for TakeOver 30.
Yeah, so hopefully the go home's good, but it's like that would be weird to me to have AEW knows that Takeover is coming up. They're going to be doing a lot of build up. You'd think they'd want to put something on, but again, they're being put to shame because of the NBA and being moved and all this stuff. So what are they airing?
That's out of their controls, I feel. Is-
Right, but what they're
NBA's
doing-
priority, AEW's second. You know.
Yep.
Well, obviously because AEW's person backstage at Turner is no longer there. If that
Yeah.
guy had still been there, I'm pretty sure.
They may
They
moved
wouldn't
it to,
have preempted 'em.
TBS or something like that.
Right. They may so let's put the NBA here. They're recording from an arena too. They can be at any time. Doesn't have to be right then.
Sure.
Or
That's
they
my
said,
two
okay, we're going to keep AEW on Wednesday, but we're shifting it to TBS.
Right. They can do that too, and it wouldn't be the first time they've done that. So, but yeah, that's the week.
All right. Any closing thoughts, or are we good to take this on home?
Take it home.
All right. Well, like I said, that was the week. We've got a good build up for this coming week for the take home, the go homes for Survivor Series, and then we'll also have Survivor Series on Sunday, which unless something happens and we have to record on Sunday, which probably isn't going to be possible next week because we're all going to be watching Survivor Series, we will have our predictions and everything else for Survivor Series on next week's show. Until then, we're out of here, guys.
Peace.
Thank you very much for listening to the Honest Wrestling Review Network. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And as always, you can find us on our various social media outlets. Search us on Facebook at Honest Wrestling Review. You can also find us on Twitter at HW Review Pod. And you can find us on Instagram at _HWR_network. If you have any ideas for a show or recommendations for a topic, please feel free to send us to us on those various social media outlets. Thank you very much for listening.